Ladies and gentlemen, before the world touches your phone, your fears, your doubts, your deadlines, it touches your mind. And whatever touches your mind first decides the direction of your entire day. The problem is not that life is hard. The problem is that we wake up untrained. We let the noise of yesterday, the worries of tomorrow, and the opinions of everyone else sit on our chest before our feet even touch the ground. Morning is not just a time on the clock, it is a doorway. And if you don't choose how to walk through it, life will push you through it unprepared. Morning mind training that actually works is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing strength before circumstances speak. It is about telling your mind, gently but firmly, that today it will not run wild with fear, comparison, or regret. This kind of training does not need fancy routines or long hours. It needs intention, honesty, and consistency. When you train your mind in the morning, you are not escaping reality. You are preparing yourself to face it with clarity, courage, and calm. You are teaching your inner voice to become your ally, not your enemy. Win the first inner conversation. The first conversation you have every morning is the most important dialogue of your day. It happens in silence, long before the world shouts at you with its demands, opinions, and noise. When your eyes open, your mind begins its own narrative, and if you are unaware, it drifts into fear, doubt, or regret. But imagine, even for a moment, that you can choose what your mind hears first. A simple shift in this internal conversation can transform a day from struggle into strength. When you speak to yourself with gentleness and encouragement, you plant seeds of confidence and clarity that grow as the hours pass. Each word, each thought is like a brushstroke painting the canvas of your life, and the first strokes matter more than anything else. This conversation is not about pretending to be perfect or fearless. It is about acknowledging reality while refusing to let it dominate you. You may wake with heaviness in your chest, anxiety pressing on your shoulders, or unanswered questions swirling in your mind. Yet, when you choose courage and self-kindness in that first dialogue, you build a fortress inside that no challenge can easily breach. Speaking strength to yourself is not arrogance. It is an act of self-preservation and self-respect. You tell your mind, I will meet difficulties, but I will not be defeated. I will feel fear, but it will not decide my actions. This is how leaders of their own lives are forged. In the quiet mornings when no one is watching, win the first inner conversation by practicing awareness. Notice your thoughts as they arise without judgment and gently guide them toward positivity, gratitude, and focus. This practice is not a one-time effort. It is a lifelong habit that grows in power every time you choose to respond rather than react. Each morning, as you engage this inner dialogue, you are teaching your mind how to navigate the challenges of the day. You are telling yourself that you have authority over your mind, not the chaos of circumstances or the unpredictability of other people's expectations. Finally, understand that the voice you cultivate in these first moments becomes your anchor throughout the day. When external pressures rise, deadlines loom, and conflicts surface, your mind returns to this trained voice of clarity and strength. It whispers reminders of resilience and hope even when the world screams otherwise. This inner conversation is the foundation of every achievement, every act of courage, and every moment of peace you will experience. It is not a luxury or a choice for convenience. It is the essential first step in taking control of your life and walking through your days with purpose and dignity. Control the input before the world enters. The first moments of the day are like fresh soil, ready to absorb what you plant in it. Before the phone rings, before notifications flood your screen, before the demands of the day arrive, you have a sacred opportunity to decide what will enter your mind. The information you absorb, the images you see, and the sounds you hear in those early hours are more influential than almost anything else you will encounter. If your first input is fear, comparison, or negativity, your day will echo those feelings. But if you consciously choose inspiration, reflection, and calm, you give your mind a foundation of stability, clarity, and strength that is nearly unshakable. Morning mind training requires protecting this mental space. It is easy to scroll endlessly through social media, to drown in news that heightens anxiety, or to start the day by comparing your life with someone else's highlight reel. These habits may seem harmless, but they erode confidence and focus. Instead, train yourself to prioritize inputs that feed your growth and resilience. Read a few lines of wisdom, write down what you are grateful for, pray, meditate, or simply sit in stillness and breathe. These are the small but powerful acts that signal to your mind that you are in charge of your mental environment, that you decide what touches your thoughts and emotions. Control of input is also control of attention. When you begin the day mindfully, you teach your mind how to filter distractions and resist reactive impulses. You set a precedent that your thoughts are not at the mercy of external chaos. Over time, this practice develops a mental immunity, a resilience that allows you to face the world's pressures without surrendering to panic, envy, or negativity. You begin to notice how often your attention has been hijacked by unnecessary worry or comparison, and you reclaim it, moment by moment, with intention. Finally, this disciplined approach to input teaches consistency and self-respect. Your mind learns to expect nurturing, focus, and calm, even amidst the storms of life. You build an inner sanctuary that no outside noise can easily disturb, giving you clarity for decision-making, peace for emotional stability, and confidence to act with courage. Controlling your morning input is not merely a habit. It is a declaration that you will not let circumstances dictate your mental state, that you are committed to shaping your day and your life from the very first breath you take. Anchor your mind to purpose, not pressure. Too often, we wake up already running behind, already weighed down by deadlines, responsibilities, and expectations that feel crushing. Morning mind training teaches the soul that purpose matters more than pressure. When you anchor your mind to purpose, the world's demands no longer dictate your emotional state. Your inner mission does. Purpose gives clarity where confusion exists, patience where frustration threatens, and courage where fear lingers. It is the compass that guides you through the storms, the quiet voice that reminds you why the struggle is worth enduring, and the light that shines even in the darkest mornings. When your mind is anchored to purpose, you move through tasks with intention instead of reaction. You remind yourself why you are doing what you are doing, even if the steps feel small, repetitive, or exhausting. Pressure arises from focusing on outcomes, comparisons, or perfection. But purpose shifts the focus to meaning. The distinction is subtle but profound. Pressure confines, overwhelms, and diminishes, while purpose liberates, empowers, and strengthens. Morning mind training is about shifting this focus daily, creating an internal habit that refuses to let the weight of external demands decide your energy, mood, or actions. This practice also cultivates resilience and perspective. Life will always impose challenges, but when you know the why, you can endure the how. Anchoring your mind to purpose transforms obstacles into lessons, delays into preparation, and setbacks into fuel for growth. You begin to realize that the pressure you feel is temporary, but the purpose you carry is eternal, shaping not just today, but the trajectory of your entire life. Even in moments of fatigue, doubt, or fear, your mind returns to the guiding force of purpose, finding strength in clarity and courage in conviction. Finally, when you start each morning by reaffirming your purpose, you program your mind to prioritize what truly matters. Decisions become clearer, patience grows stronger, and energy is allocated toward meaningful action rather than reaction. The weight of pressure diminishes because purpose transforms every challenge into an opportunity to grow, learn, and create impact. Morning mind training anchored in purpose does not eliminate difficulties, but it changes how your mind experiences them, how your heart endures them, and how your spirit rises above them, giving you the unwavering clarity to face the day with confidence, train emotional strength, not just motivation. Motivation is fleeting, like sunlight that warms you for a moment but disappears behind clouds. Emotional strength, however, is the fire within that keeps you moving even when the world is cold and indifferent. Morning mind training teaches that feeling tired, anxious, or uncertain is natural, but letting those emotions dictate your actions is optional. The practice begins with awareness, acknowledging every feeling without judgment and observing its influence on your thoughts. When you do this, you give your mind the clarity to act consciously rather than react impulsively, building a foundation of resilience that grows stronger every single day. Training emotional strength starts with the deliberate choice to respond rather than surrender. You may wake up with fear about deadlines, regret over yesterday's mistakes, or anxiety about the unknown, yet your mind can choose how to interpret these feelings. Accepting your emotions does not mean being controlled by them. It means allowing them to inform you without allowing them to paralyze you. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to endure discomfort without surrendering to despair, to face uncertainty without losing direction, and to handle challenges without losing your center. Morning is the perfect time to remind your mind that emotions are signals, not shackles. This kind of training also teaches patience and self-compassion. You learn to forgive yourself for weaknesses and to celebrate small victories of courage. Even when life is harsh and unpredictable, your mind develops the ability to maintain stability. Emotional strength is built quietly, consistently, and intentionally, not through bursts of motivation or temporary inspiration. Every morning, when you pause to observe, breathe, and realign yourself, you reinforce the message that your emotional state is yours to guide, not the circumstances or other people's opinions. This discipline becomes armor for every moment of struggle and a shield against unnecessary stress. Finally, emotional strength enhances every aspect of your life. Relationships, decisions, and personal goals benefit from a mind trained to remain calm, focused, and compassionate even under pressure. Your energy is no longer drained by overthinking or fear. Instead, it is invested in meaningful action and thoughtful response. Morning mind training that cultivates emotional strength transforms fear into courage, doubt into clarity, and frustration into creative energy. It is not about being unbreakable, but about being resilient, aware, and empowered to move forward with confidence, regardless of what the day brings. Commit to consistency over intensity. The mind does not transform in a single dramatic morning. It changes through repeated, consistent effort. Intense bursts of action may feel powerful in the moment, but they fade without regular practice. Morning mind training is about showing up even when you feel tired, distracted, or unmotivated. 5 focused minutes each day are more powerful than a single hour of forceful effort because consistency teaches your mind trust, discipline, and patience. Each morning, you commit to this practice. You reinforce the message that your growth is non-negotiable and that your mind can rely on your dedication. Consistency also builds compounding strength. Just as a drop of water eventually shapes stone, daily intentional effort reshapes your mind, habits, and resilience. Each morning, when you repeat your practices, speaking affirmations, grounding yourself, focusing on purpose, you layer new neural pathways, reinforcing clarity, confidence, and emotional stability. Your mind begins to anticipate these moments of training, seeking alignment, balance, and growth naturally. Over weeks and months, this daily commitment becomes a source of inner power that no external circumstance can easily diminish. The practice of consistency is also a profound act of self-respect. By showing up for yourself every day, you communicate to your mind that it matters, that your thoughts and actions are worth guiding, and that your life is worth investing in. This trust nurtures confidence and reinforces the habit of deliberate living. You learn that you do not need perfect conditions or extraordinary motivation to start. All that is needed is persistence. Even small efforts, when consistent, yield remarkable transformation. giving you mastery over your mind, focus, and energy. Finally, consistency strengthens resilience in ways intensity cannot. Life will challenge you, throw obstacles, and disrupt routines, but a mind trained through daily, gentle, intentional effort knows how to recover and adapt. It learns patience, endurance, and self-discipline. Morning mind training, repeated faithfully, becomes a promise to yourself, a promise that regardless of fatigue, fear, or doubt, you will rise, refocus, and continue shaping your life with intention, courage, and unwavering strength. This is the quiet power of consistent effort, the force that builds unstoppable minds and unshakable hearts. In the end, morning mind training is not about perfection or fleeting motivation. It is about choosing yourself before the world chooses for you. It begins with the first conversation you have with your mind, teaching it to speak strength, hope, and clarity even before the day begins. It is about controlling what enters your consciousness, protecting your mental space from noise, comparison, and negativity, and anchoring yourself to purpose rather than pressure. Each of these practices nurtures resilience, transforms fear into courage, and equips you with the clarity to navigate every challenge with intentionality. When you commit to emotional strength and consistency, your mind learns patience, endurance, and unwavering focus, becoming a sanctuary of power in a chaotic world. Every morning, you invest in these small but deliberate acts. You are sculpting not just your day, but the very trajectory of your life. This training is not a one-time effort. It is a lifelong promise to rise, to align, and to lead your thoughts with wisdom and courage. Each day offers the chance to reinforce your inner voice, to practice presence, and to act with intention. When your mind is trained in this way, nothing outside can dictate your peace, confidence, or clarity. You carry purpose in every step, strength in every breath, and resilience in every heartbeat. Morning mind training is the quiet, deliberate art of creating a life where you are the leader of your thoughts, the guardian of your energy, and the architect of your destiny. It is the ultimate act of self-respect, empowerment, and hope.